This is a demonstration of how to use CoherentWeb to transform a set of XML files using XSLT. So first of all, I select the input folder containing the XML files. In this case they're XHTML. Then I select the XSLT file and then I just press start. And that's the transform completed. So to see what we've actually got, if I click on view and then split this view, and what I'll do is I'll set up to have a look. So we're looking at the XML there, but if I go to an HTML view, we can see we're looking at the input HTML. Now if I select output here and select HTML there we've got the output. Now what we can see immediately in the output is we've lost relative links. So CSS files and graphics have been lost because the output location is located elsewhere in a special output folder. So what we're going to do is just quickly go back to the control panel and click export, and this copies those files across automatically. So that's all files that were in the input folder that weren't actually processed. It copies across. So now we've got those links restored, so we can have a look through and to see the results of our transform. And you will see that it's only small changes that are made by this transform. One of them is to highlight specific navigation bar items according to the page that we're looking at, and the other is to add a news page, a news column on the left hand side. We'll also see, if we look at some other web page, that the navigation bar is copied down into the footer as well, because in the input file the footer is just a blank placeholder. So that's the transform, and with this viewer you can either go through and navigate just using this input file list, or you can actually click on links within those HTML pages itself. And you've got forward and back buttons just like you would have on a normal browser. Okay, let's go back to the files page and see in a bit more detail how we set things up. So when I selected this website, it automatically put in a match pattern because that was what was last used for that input folder. But normally if you were selecting a input folder for the first time, you'd be presented with wildcards. So let's just put in wildcards here, and you can see that as well as those HTML files, we've got a number of graphics files and so on, typically what you would find on a website. So using HTML allows us to filter out those files. The match pattern allows you to actually pipe together a number of patterns, and you can also use exclusion filters as well as inclusion filters, but they'll be described in further detail in the documentation. What we can also see if we look below is we've got a file filters box, and at the moment we've got subfolders selected to include. And just to quickly show what that means, this website is actually a folder hierarchy, so including subfolders allows us to include all files within that hierarchy. But if I take that off, you will see that there's only a small set of files actually in the top level folder for the website. So let's put that back in again. The other thing that you'll notice with the folder panel is that those folders that are marked black, that means that they contain no files that are selected for processing through this match pattern. And this uncompress files option here isn't actually relevant in this case, but this allows us to transform documents that are compressed zip files, such as found in Office 2007 or OpenOffice ODF documents. So we can go through those in a later demonstration. Right, going on, we can also see information about the files that we've got selected for the transform here. And that concludes this demonstration of using XSLT to transform a set of XML files in CoherentWeb.